Keaton, did you have a sense that you were going to be named the starting quarterback before they actually gave you the official announcement?
I think everyone kind of, when you're in that position, I'm sure Nick kind of felt the same way. You want to have the confidence that you're going to be the guy. So yeah, of course you want to, have that thought and that belief. But again, I think, Nick probably felt the same way.
And what do you feel you did to win the job?
Again, like day in, day out, you're not thinking like, oh, what do I have to do different to win the job? I think, from my perspective at least, my idea was like go out, do your job, execute the offense as well as you can, and things will kind of take care of itself. So, you look at camp, it's a long grind. You're at day 10 or 12 or 14, and you just gotta remind yourself, just do what coach wants you to do, be coachable, run the offense, execute, and again, things will kind of take care of itself. So I think that was just my focus throughout camp and throughout the spring.
Were you pretty cool when Pat gave it the nod, or did you give a little whoop?
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I think you could probably ask him my reaction, but again, that's kind of the mentality and the idea when you go into it is you want to be named the guy. Again, so when coach announced it was like a huge shock and surprise because again, when you're in that position, you kind of want to have that confidence and feel that way beforehand.
You talked about throwing 10,000 passes between two of your receivers during the offseason. Did you feel like you met that mark? Was that something you could even track after about maybe like 2 months of doing it?
Yeah, again, we kind of set out before. Someone brought up to me that Joe Burrow and the LSU that 2019 year, I think that they did that. That's awesome. Like, why not strive to be like that? They're probably the greatest offense in college football history. So we just kind of mapped it out. Like, hey, if we throw, it was like 200 balls, 5 times a week or something. I don't even remember the numbers. So it wasn't like we were counting. Okay, today we got 193. It was just more so like, if we throw X amount of times per week, we throw every time. We got this many weeks in the year. We have 1 week off, but other than that, so yeah, I think going forward, we pretty much there were no days where we were like, oh, we're gonna take this day off. I think we pretty much hit every day that we wanted to, and even if we didn't, we definitely made it up on a day that we were supposed to have off.
I know how much respect you and Nick have for each other. How much more difficult or more heated or anything did that make this battle for you guys throughout camp?
I don't think it made it any more difficult or any more heated. I think Nick's a really mature guy. I like to believe I'm a mature guy. I think we handled our business relatively well and understanding, and Nick's been awesome this whole time to me. Even now to me in January, that's not the easiest thing when you bring in transfer guys. So again, I think it's been a very professional relationship, and we have a lot of fun. Really, all those guys in the room, we have a ton of fun, and I feel like we're a pretty close group.
Keaton, SC has a lot of rivals. From UCLA to Notre Dame or whatever. Does that make you feel like you're relatively prepared for what you expect to see on Thursday night?
Yeah, it's a big game. It's a different environment, but I love playing big games. I think every player loves playing big games. From your high school rival to college, I think everyone's favorite game is a rivalry game. So, yeah, obviously you feel prepared, but more so you just feel excited.
Has the coaching staff been educating you guys on sort of what this is about?
Yeah, definitely. It's been a while, obviously, since we played them, and we've had some friendly reminders, to like really tough days in the weight room. We'll play some certain songs, and some older guys will come say their piece. So yeah, we've had some education.
Is Country Roads one of those songs?
Maybe, yeah.
Keaton, what does Graham Darrell know about you that might help with his defense?
I don't know. Someone asked me that the other day. Like, do you think that's gonna help them? Yeah, I don't know. Like, it's a different offense. Maybe he knows some tendencies that I wasn't aware of. But I'd like to think that everything he knows, I've been made aware of because he's coached me for 3 years. So if I have a tendency that I needed to improve on, I'd like to think that he made me aware of it. Throughout our time there. So maybe you probably have to ask him if there was something along those lines.
Could you also tip off your own defense if Graham likes to do something so-and-so?
Yeah, again, it's kind of the same thing. I can tell him, oh yeah, we like to run this, but he's a coordinator. He knows what he's doing. And again, like Coach said, football's football. There's only so many plays you can run, and you just have to execute, and that's really the name of the game.
Obviously, this was a goal of yours coming in, but has it kind of sunken in yet, especially as you guys gear up for next week and what it brings?
Yeah, I think the whole time, you're still preparing for September 1. So regardless of whether you announce the guy or not, I think kind of like I was saying earlier, your mentality is the same. Your mentality was to be the guy, come September 1. So again, it's not like there's been some huge changing thing. I've gotten some more reps, and but again, I like to think I'm preparing the same way as I'm sure Nick's preparing the exact same way I am.
Can you add, do you think you're a different quarterback maybe than you were when you got here?
I feel like I just learned a lot. Coach McName's had so much experience. He's coached NFL offenses. He's been coaching forever. He'll bring up a play. Like, 1992. We were in this play to win the game. Pull up that YouTube video. So he's awesome. He's had a ton of experience, and I feel like I've learned a lot. From just understanding defenses to understanding how this offense is supposed to work and the history of it and what it's designed to do. So more so, I feel like I just know so much more about the game now than I did when I first came.
You don't tell coach that 1992 was 30 years ago?
Sometimes, but he's pretty self-aware. But shoot, he says it's a time-proven offense. So he'll be like, "Hey man, Joe Montana did the same thing. It's worked over and over again. Same thing Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay are doing now."
What was the challenge of learning more about how to beat different defenses while learning a new playbook and also learning these new relationships, building relationships with the entire team?
How challenging was it?
Yeah, like what was that like?
It's challenging. I think, more so than all that. Like all the other stuff's kind of, like when you're a freshman, you kind of get thrown into that mix as well. I think just adjusting and just getting to know the guys, and there's 110 dudes on the roster, so I think that was, to me, honestly, was the most challenging thing. Was like, I want to get to know every single guy, or at least have every guy get a chance to get to know me. And it seems like you have a lot of time, but 110 guys is a ton of people, and so again, that was my, I think, biggest thing and focus going through, because again, everything else is football. I love coming in, learning about coverages and learning about new offense. I can come kind of do that whenever I want. I can do that at 10 o'clock at night personally, going through this stuff. I can watch film whenever I want, but there's only so many times of the day where you can get with the guys and get to hang out, and get to know someone. So I think that was probably the biggest focus for me this since I transferred.
How did the team learn that you were the starting quarterback? How was your reception, like the moments after and ever since that moment? How's that kind of processed with everyone knowing, okay, he is the guy?
Yeah, that's a good question. It wasn't like there was a big announcement or something from the team. It was just the past few days getting the reps. I think guys started to be more aware. But again, I think guys have confidence in the staff and what we're doing. And that's kind of been really nice since I've been here. Everyone's kind of locked into what they're doing and trusting the process, and it's nice to be a part of that because I feel like you're collectively a part of reaching out to that goal.
Who are you closest with on the team right now?
That's a good question. There's probably a few. I like to think of the lineman first. Spent a lot of time with Gabe Boyd. He's been out. So we'll be in the training room together, chopping it up. And I think of Owen. I think of Carter, Marcus. I talked to Marcus when I first got here. Some of the walk-ons in the lineman room. They're really funny and give me a lot of good times. I think of the quarterbacks too. We spend so much time together. Whether it's Patty or Nate or Derek's new, he's awesome. So I could talk forever, but there's a bunch of guys that really talk about that being a focus of being meeting new guys. But the guys here have been amazing, super welcoming, and honestly made that so much easier because I feel like I'm going in a room that is greeting me with open arms. It's not like I have to get pry out information or pry out get them to hang out with me. It kind of feels like it's reciprocated. So.
How important was it for you to earn the trust of those guys, whether it was in the spring or here in fall camp?
It's really important. Those guys got to believe in the guy that's getting the job done and the guys getting the ball, or calling protections or checking protections. So I think that's almost job as a quarterback is probably executing the offense, and job number 2 is getting those guys to believe that you're the guy and that you can do all those things and get in a position to win. So that's extremely important.
Did you find that was difficult to do?
No, not necessarily. It's not something you focus on. I got to do this to prove it. You kind of just go through your process. Or at least that was my thought process, was just go through your process, and that'll come with time. And if you do the right things, again, that will come.